Let's do
You
it.
are watching a master at work.
Yeah.
What is up, my beautiful, darling little babies? Welcome to another amazing episode. If you are wondering what is going on, I am sitting next to such a big deal right now. I mean, from recording Chaka Khan to Paula Abdul to, oh my God, Lil Wayne, Kehlani, like this man is literally legendary. We have Jeremiah in the building. I'm honestly really excited about this.
Thank you. Excited
How
to
are
be
you?
here.
Before we get
Good.
into all the good stuff.
Good, just hanging, working.
We had to hurry up and cut the camera on because we were talking about some crazy stuff. So before we get like real deep into the good stuff, for those of you who don't know, this man is one of the greatest, craziest audio engineers / producers. I remember going to a studio session with you for the first time, and I was just so intrigued by how you are such a perfectionist when it comes to your art, your craft.
I mean, it all breaks down to detail, and a lot of people lack that. It's like,
Yes.
music is supposed to be detailed. Like, I went to school for it. They tell you from the beginning, attention to detail.
What school did you go to? Like, you really went to like music school?
To engineering school.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
called Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences in Phoenix.
That sounds pretty serious.
Yeah, it was solid.
So what do you feel like you took from school versus like an audio engineer who doesn't take school? Well, who doesn't go to school, I should say.
Ooh, real engineering.
Ooh, okay, Brick.
I hate to say it like that because I respect a lot of the guys that
Yeah.
record vocals. But as an engineer, can you go and record a drum set? Can you operate this 80 channel console and actually know what you're doing? Or can you only do a vocal? So it keeps me grounded of like, I love to do live recording stuff. For
Yeah.
a band, like I don't want to record a vocal every day.
So you know how like back in the day they would have like the band and the singers like in there in the room, like you've recorded like that
Oh,
before.
I do it every other week.
So what makes that experience so much different from the actual just vocal? Which I mean, I know that might sound like a dumb question but for people who don't have that understanding.
You
break
gotta
that down.
think, whenever I'm recording drums, I have at least 16 microphones on the kit.
You said 60?
Yep. So it's like, by the end of it, if I'm tracking a full band, I got 42 channels, 50 channels that I'm monitoring, not just a single vocal.
Holy shit.
And I love it. Like I work with a church out here, and it's like I do maybe 1 week every other month, and it just keeps me like, okay, this is what I started for.
So you never get like intimidated by this?
I did it first. Now I have it so locked in. Like I have an assistant that's doing most of the stuff for me, and it's just like a flawless process.
And you know, one thing that I also loved about watching you is you are not easy to impress. And I feel like if an artist wants to know if they really have it, like they need to get recorded by you, because you not only just sit there and just go through it like, okay, this is what I like, but you also like will guide them through how it should sound.
I mean, honestly, it's good and bad. Like I've lost clients for doing that,
Really?
but I've gained more because some people, they already think they're the shit. They don't want no guidance. That's not the person I want to work with. I say if we can't improve each other, we shouldn't be working together.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm going to tell you if something sucks. I'm not there just to take your money. I'm going to be honest.
And I respect that about you.
And thank you. It's like,
And
again,
sometimes they're just like, nope, he's not like stroking my artist ego.
exactly. He told me to redo that part. I don't want to work with this guy no more.
Oh, they don't like when you tell them to redo it?
Sometimes people get so cocky, and I'm just like,
When you hear an art, what does it take for an artist to have for you to be like, okay, they have it. This is a star in the making. Like, what are some things you look for?
that's hard because I've dealt with people that are super talented, but they do nothing else but that.
Oh.
And I hate when an artist, I didn't know how to answer this question for years when they like, oh, you think this is a hit?
That's good.
There's a million hit songs out there that no one's ever heard. And so now I've learned to tell them, I say, I don't know. What are you going to do with it when you leave here? You doing a video? What are you doing for marketing?
Ooh.
And
See, you are I'm telling you, you got it. All right,
it
go ahead.
shocks them. They're just like, oh, I didn't think about that. Like, I've recorded a million amazing art, not a million, but tons of amazing artists.
Yeah.
And it's kind of made me bitter to where like, now it's like, yeah, you're talented. I've recorded 5 more of you that have
Yeah.
the same tone,
Mm.
same thing. What are you doing outside of the studio with your music? And they freeze up.
That's good. And off camera, you said something that was golden as well. You were going into how people just want to look like an artist
Oh yeah.
instead of actually being.
It's like the social media thing is such a great tool, but it's messed a lot of people up.
How so?
They more so want to rent a car. Spend $1,000 a day going to rent that car. What are you investing in your career?
That's so okay.
So it's like,
I'm glad you said that because I see the money they waste and I'm like, they'll have all these nice things and no music videos, no marketing, no rollout.
it trips me out, and I deal with it on a daily. And I'm to the point where I'm very upfront with people to where I'll kind of clown a little bit. Like,
Yeah, you know how to make them feel small. You humble them real quick, don't you?
you
be like,
have to. There's too many people that are out there just like hyping you up over social media or whatever you're
Yeah.
looking like. And it's like,
yeah,
I want to be the person that's really trying to help you and honest with you.
yeah.
There's too many people that aren't honest. You got your friends hyping you up, whatever.
That is true.
And I'm like, okay, cool. What are you doing to make this better?
That's good.
A lot of the times they're doing nothing.
Doing nothing, but just making it look. So you used to be a drummer in a band.
Yep.
How did that transition happen from you? First of all, what was that experience like? Because that's one of my dreams, being a drummer in a band. And how did you go from being a drummer to entering like the engineering career?
I love playing drums. I went and recorded an EP one time. We took like 5 days, went into a studio, and I seen the engineer was like recording and making money. And I was from a small town. The band wasn't making no money. I loved it, but
Yeah.
I finally decided like I want to make this a career.
Yeah.
So that's where I was like, let me look into engineering, production, see what we could do there.
Do you ever like, okay, so listen, I got to ask my drummer dreams. When y'all be hitting a foot thing, what is that? Like, how do you like really, what are the basics of playing a drum or becoming a drummer?
You got to make each of your limbs have its own brain.
Dang, that sounds crazy already. God damn it. All right.
You know, you got your hi-hat on the left, your kick on the right.
Okay, that's what it's called. Okay.
I played double kick to where I would have
Of course you
a
did.
double kick pedal to where do 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 do.
Of course.
And then you got to think your right hand has to have its own brain, your left hand has to as well.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why you enjoy recording like those live band vocals more, or
Oh yeah.
because of your background of being
When you get a live band in there that just sounds like really great, I'll have to show
Yeah.
you some stuff at some point.
Please do, because
And
I'm
it's
really
just
into
like,
that.
they're doing it in one take. It's so well rehearsed. Like they're just making music and performing in a studio.
Yeah.
And once it's locked in, it's like, this is incredible.
So I love your journey where, you kind of said you weren't happy just working a job anymore. So you were willing to take that risk and, stick to music until it worked for you. How did you keep that faith? How did you keep that discipline? Because it's freaking hard, man.
Honestly, like once I set my goal with it, I found out that I was about to have my daughter. And that lit a fire under my ass. Like, I didn't even graduate high school. I got a GED. I hated school. And as soon as I was about to leave to Phoenix, I found out I'm having a kid. And that was in the back of my brain the whole time. Like,
Oh, shit. Like at the beginning.
I don't have a choice here. Like, I'm not going to get another chance to go to a college or anything. Can't afford that.
Yeah.
And it's like every test was like, you got a little girl on the way. You better get your shit together. And that was my like inspiration.
And how was it having a partner that was able to just understand like the sacrifices that comes with this?
It's hard to find. With studio stuff, like you can't have a jealous partner. They have to be understanding. And I've seen a lot of upcoming guys that are like, hey, how do you deal with this? You got to break it down like, hey, this is for us. This is my career. And, there's times where you're getting called, for me starting out at least, of, hey, you got to be to the studio at 10 p.m. You can't have that partner that's like, you're fucking lying. Where are you going at 10 p.m.?
Right.
Like, it has to be an understanding of we're doing this together.
Who was like your first big artist that you recorded and you were like, holy shit, it's happening?
Honestly, I can't remember the first.
Okay, who were some of your biggest names where you were just kind of like, oh my goodness, are they really here right now? Is this happening?
So I'm from a small town called Barstow. Little pit stop.
Yeah, that's where we literally just stopped there to get gas or use the bathroom sometimes.
If you ever stop there, go to Del Taco. That's the original, still original family owns it.
Really? I did not know that.
I tell people that. It's the only good thing about the town.
Oh my goodness, I did not know that. Shout out to them. Now I'm gonna make sure I go to Del Taco.
So my very first day, I get there and they were like, hey, Brittany's on her way in.
Britney Spears?
Exactly.
I'm wait a minute.
And I'm like, what the hell? Like, these are people I've seen on TV. Not that I respect Britney. I can't say I'm a huge fan.
I loved Britney.
But that was still crazy.
Oh my goodness. I did not know that.
And I remember she came in and I thought it was so cool. You got to drive around like these brand new Escalades and they wanted a lunch order. But it was a place that like kind of closed after lunch and then opened back up for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to order food like 10 minutes before they closed. And I had to run. And I was going from Flamingo to Sahara, I think. You know, it was like 3 p.m. Traffic crazy. So I'm in this car and it was literally like my life depended on it. Damn. And I'm calling the restaurant. And I was like front desk person at the time. I don't got no extra money. I'm calling them like, hey guys, I'll pay you whatever. Like, please just wait till I get there. I need to pick up this order. I was driving down wrong way streets.
Oh, wow.
I was rushing.
But you made it happen.
I made it happen. Got the
and then
food.
You brought Britney her food.
Yep.
And then what was that experience like with Britney Spears? Oh my God, I'm about to geek out right now. You work with some cool people, man.
Thank you. That was during like the whole censorship thing. So it was kind of a little awkward. Like,
really? Okay.
There couldn't be any sign of alcohol in the studio. Like, it was very specific.
Mm.
And then one of the other ones was
she nice to you?
She was cool, but it was like you could tell she wasn't allowed to really talk.
Oh, fucking assholes.
She would come in and hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Good to see you. And hey, how are you? You could just tell like she was really like,
damn,
there's
real.
3 security guards around her, like wasn't able to be herself.
Who are some like, okay, dang, you have so many people. And I remember I was in your studio and you said you recorded Lil Wayne.
Unfortunately.
You did say unfortunately. Why? Why do you do that? You know I'm a Wayne. But you said it was different.
Money was great.
But Wayne was low key a diva.
His mind is gone. I'm gonna get in trouble. I signed an NDA and shit.
No, don't do that. Don't get in trouble then. Don't get in trouble then. No, don't get in trouble.
No,
but if you want to get in trouble, get in trouble here.
No, it was
the cup.
That was always a good sign. I loved to see whenever he pulled out the cup.
Oh.
That means I only got a couple hours left of the session.
Because you said he would be like hours.
I mean, we looped a beat for 14 hours for him to write one verse.
God
and
damn.
Everyone thinks he's this freestyle king. That's not freestyling. Like, you're just writing in your head. You're not writing it on paper. And then we changed the verse 4 times.
Damn.
Yeah.
So when you work with like legends and then you see the real that goes behind it, does that change your perspective of them?
I mean, most of the times whenever I record them, it's like it's a 1 session type thing. With Wayne, I was hired to be his personal guy. So like they wanted me with him 10 days a month. So I seen a way different experience.
Like, what was the craziest experience you saw working with Wayne or went through with Wayne?
Him thinking he is a big gang member.
Oh, dang.
I mean,
dang, he did rep the B side. God damn.
He's so tiny though. I don't know if you ever seen him in real life.
No,
like,
I never seen Wayne. I'm living through you right now.
He's not intimidating to me personally.
What, like, so did he give off that energy like
he tries
to you?
Very hard. Yeah. At one
so
point,
he wasn't very nice.
No, at one point he said he was gonna smack the fuck out of me because I played the wrong take. But I'm sober. He's fucked up. I know I played the right one. But
Oh, my Wayne dreams are crushed. Oh, Wayne, why you gonna do that? What? How did you handle that?
kept my mouth quiet. I have to know when to like not speak because I'm the type of person that's gonna take it all the way
Mm,
and cuss you out. Like
yeah.
we're gonna get into it. I just need to take the higher ground and ignore it.
Damn. What era was this of like Wayne when you guys were working together?
This was 2021, December.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, recent.
That's when. Okay.
I got a friend hired. He got fired his first night for yawning.
You did tell me. That's crazy. He couldn't yawn in the studio.
No.
Wayne was like, "You bored, motherfucker? Get out!" Like that's what happened, or
Was kind of just like, he's honestly kind of a girl about it.
oh, he a diva.
So he told the engineer, he said, all right, man, you're good. Just set up my guitar and I'll record a little bit. The engineer is like, hey, man, I'm good to stay. Like, you know, he was 15, 16 hours in,
Yeah.
but he was like, I'm good. Thinks, you know, he did good on his first session, leaves, gets a call from the manager. What happened? You're fired.
Oh,
It's like,
that's crazy.
at least fire the dude in
You about
person.
to make me cry. You know I'm a Wayne fan. Oh man. Okay, what was the best experience you had? Like the best big name artist you worked with, and you was like, "Yeah, I could do this all day." Was Kaylani great?
She was amazing.
Okay,
I really liked
and you
her.
guys got that plaque together. That was beautiful.
Yeah. And her session was super natural. Like
Mm.
she was doing a writing session. So I was engineering one room, we had another writing room, and then she had her own room for actually recording. So brought her own engineer, said no one was able to record her. That's what the label said. It wasn't like her.
Mm.
But we ended up doing I was working with the writers, they did a song. She came in and she's like, oh my God, I love this. She's like, put me in, I'm recording right now. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And just the energy was super cool. Like she was in there sitting on the ground with the writers and like no diva stuff at all. It was more about just like the vibe being right.
Oh, I love that. Shout out to Kaylani. Who was like some of your favorites? Like, did you ever get to record like some of your top artists that you grew up listening to as a kid?
There's been a few, but it's like not big names.
Oh, okay.
More like guys from rock bands or whatever. Like,
What's your favorite rock band?
Ooh, that's hard. I got too many.
Top. Just give me like three. Doesn't have to be your top, just three.
They aren't even like, again, big bands. Like a band called Under Oath was one of my favorite.
Under Oath.
Kind of like heavier rock, Warped Tour scene.
I'm gonna check.
Another one called Pierce the Veil. Same thing, kind of underground, but big within their own scene.
Yeah.
Then another band called Sleeping with Sirens were like who I was big on.
Ooh,
for a
I
while.
like their name, Sleeping with Siren. So you like, is that like your favorite genre to record?
I don't work on it at all.
Really? So you do more like hip hop, R&B, soul?
Which I love because now if I listen to a hip hop song, I'm analyzing it for the technical side.
So what do you hear? Okay, let me let you finish. I'm sorry.
Judging the mix at all times.
Makes sense.
As to where the rock stuff that I naturally grew up listening to, I could put it on and not analyze it.
Oh, wow.
To where it's like, you know, I don't listen to really any hip hop. If I just worked on hip hop for 12 hours a day, when I leave the studio, I'm listening to quiet or
that's the last thing you want to hear.
Rock or country.
So cool. I just think you're so cool, man. I think you said country. Did Beyonce deserve that album win?
I don't believe so.
Thank you. Okay. You heard it from a pro because, you know, sometimes when it was coming from me, it was just like hater. But what is country music? Like, what does she do? And then describe country music for people who don't know.
I love where country has gone. I love that it's like more country pop, hip hop, to where now it's a very broad audience.
Yeah.
And I meet a lot of old country guys where they're like, that's not country.
Yeah.
What makes country country? Like, it's hard to say, but Beyonce's stuff, I listen to country radio constantly.
And I feel like I didn't get that. Like, I like country music too, so I feel like hers just sound like an R&B voice, and she just got some country beats, and it just wasn't the feel. Like, I didn't feel like I was in country. It didn't make me want to crack open a cold beer and just get lost and like I just didn't get that feel.
Well, I kind of, again, you're talking album of the year. She's not getting played on country radio.
She didn't get nominated at the Country Awards, CMAs. But why? Everybody tried to make it a black thing. I'm like, guys, this is nothing to do with skin color. That is just really not a country album, but it was just people who didn't really listen to country.
And honestly, country is super welcoming now. Like,
It is.
one of my favorite artists is Post Malone.
His
Country
Dude.
album
is so good. It is so good. And that is what pisses me off because there are real.
and he kept it
Dude.
original. Like, some of those
Dude.
guys that he brought on the album, these are like country legends. It wasn't just doing it to look cool. I want to join country.
Or it was the trend.
No, it was like it was, current but traditional. Like, he really
yeah.
respected the background of country with this
Yes.
project. And I even told people that, I was like, I was expecting like a corny current country album. He kept
And
it. He took the roots.
he actually did the MGK effect on me. Like when he did that country album, I was like, I like this version of Post Malone. I didn't like MGK as a rapper, but when he went punk rock, I was like,
Oh, 100%.
I like this guy.
Yeah.
And then when Post Malone did that country album, I was like, you got me, buddy.
Yeah.
You got me.
To me, it's like he is a true artist. You can't call
Yes.
him a rapper. But I felt that way for a while now.
Yeah.
Even some of his, like, doing like the rockier album, like,
Mm.
I think he's great. My kids love him too. So I'm like, all right, cool. You guys got some good taste here.
Do your kids like hip hop as well?
Not much. They'll catch on to like little TikTok trend videos or whatever. But
Okay.
my youngest is full on Post Malone. Tells me she's gonna marry him.
She's cool. Oh,
Which
that is so
A little
funny.
irritating. I have to fight Post Malone one day.
What if have you ever met Post Malone before?
I wish. That's on
What if this happens? Is she coming to the studio session?
I would have to like make a FaceTime or something. I would have to do something.
She might like scream and freak out, huh?
Probably.
It's okay. Who would be like your dream, like top 3 like dream artists to record?
There's one.
Besides Post Malone, which is a big
I really like Jelly Roll as well.
one. Ooh, Jelly Roll's so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then like I would say current artist, those two and maybe Dax. And I try to relate to like
See, because we're here now. Okay, go ahead.
I try to like think about it not so, oh, I'm a big fan of this artist.
Yeah.
I try to think of it, would we get along? And I feel like I would vibe with all 3 of those really well.
So how do you stay professional when it's an artist that's a complete cunt?
Man, I've dealt with it
Yeah.
all at this point.
Yeah.
Honestly, now if it's like too bad, I'll walk out. I'm not kissing no one's ass.
Mm.
I'm 11 years in.
Mm.
I'm not cocky, but I know what I'm doing. And I tell people this all the time. If I messed up and you're being an asshole, I understand. If you're just being a dick to be a dick, I'm leaving the session.
Yeah. How do you kind of become one? Because when you guys are working, like some artists, how do you adapt to each recording style? Because some artists are like the punch in, or very few can actually just do the whole verse, or it's like you have to kind of become one with what they're doing and the beat at the same time. It's a lot that goes into what you guys do. And I'm just like, what the fuck? How do you do that?
That's the challenge that I love. You have to learn someone within about 10 minutes or they don't like you. Like,
Yes.
I did a session one time and it was some dudes from like South Carolina or something. And I don't think they ever worked with a white engineer before.
They didn't know you was like that.
And I go into it and my manager was in the room. They were like, "Oh, you sure you work on hip hop?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got you, man." And
I got it.
I walked out of the room and me and the manager were laughing and I was like, "Give me 10 minutes." And literally one of those guys still to this day, this was 7 years ago, is like one of my biggest fans and
Damn.
comment, shares, anything I ever
No,
do.
because you're like that for real though. How do you do it?
It's a battle, but you gotta be like, I've always felt like I've been good of making people comfortable. Like you want to just set the energy right and show a little bit of confidence. Like I remember I did a session with a guy named Derek Milano. He's like Grammy winning songwriter. So he writes like all of Nicki's stuff, all of Megan Thee Stallion stuff.
That's so cool.
And his process is really quick. And I remember the session, he walked in and he's like, "Hey man, you sure you can handle it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got you." He's like, "I'm super quick." And he's like, "You got a lot of tattoos though. You might know what you're doing."
Hey, no, the tattoos bring confidence.
They give you a little help in
It
some
does.
of
It
those
does.
tense hip hop sessions.
And then, so like, what do you mean like quick? Like he was just like, he like laid it down quick and you had to like.
from the time he heard the beat and finished the song was probably 15, 18 minutes total. He was so quick. One of the best I've ever worked with.
Shit.
And next day comes in, sends me the files. Nikki wants to do the song today.
You recorded Nicki Minaj before?
I didn't. I sent off the demo.
That's close
She
enough.
was the writer. And I don't think it ever came out, but it was still like, he was quick.
Do you still get like starstruck, or is it just like they're human and you're like, let's go? Because you're 11 years in.
What I look at it like at the end of the day, we're all humans. That's where it comes to like, if you're dealing with an
Yeah.
asshole, like, again, we're humans.
Yeah.
Like, I could leave this session. I'm not going to get fired. I do a Warner writer camp every year, and they bring in 150 of the top writers and producers in the world and lock out every studio in Vegas. So we just did it in September, and my room for the first 4 days had no AC.
Oh,
You know, Vegas in September is still hot.
Yeah.
So I had a session with can't remember who the producers were, but I had Jeremiah and a guy named Sean Garrett in my room that night.
Damn. Sean Garrett was in there too with Jeremiah?
I've worked with Sean before. Super cool. He loved me. And I get there, and the producer's like, "Dude, I feel bad to be you right now."
Because there was no air in there?
No air.
Damn.
And I'm like, "Why? What's up?" And he was like, "They're going to blame this all on you." So I straight up told him, like, "Dude, I'm here to do my job. I'll leave. Like, if they're that mad about it, find a different engineer." And it was like the second to last day of the camp. Like, and I was like the main room of the studio. Damn. And on those, like, I get a lot of requests from the writers for me to engineer their session. So I'm like, I already know Warner knows my name. They aren't going to fire me over leaving one session.
Yeah.
Like, it just got awkward for a minute.
So when you see other engineers, what do you look for? Or like, how do you determine like, okay, this person knows what they're doing?
Back to the detail. I feel like is number one with engineering. If I get your session to mix and it's just slop, there's no editing, there's no fades, like, I lose my respect for you as an engineer.
How deep does mixing go? Because I'm just a fan listener, so like you guys hear it totally different, but like the vote, like I don't know how to ask the right questions because I don't know the right fucking verbiage for it. But
I mean, a good mix. Well, let's put it this way: a bad mix could make a great song bad, and it's the fill. And I always pay attention to the fill. And I've done like listening parties where I might do. And professionalism, like file organization. You lost the session. I never want to work with you again. I don't care about your name. Like, I've lost one session in 11 years.
All it took is one time.
And never will I allow it. Like, I take extra safety with it. Yeah, again, the editing of just like, you know, it's hard to explain, but oh yeah, that's what I was saying was listening parties. I've done listening parties where I might mix 8 out of 10, and then they had 2 horrible mixes on 2 of them because the engineer lost the files and they couldn't get them. And I read the room. So a lot of people don't even know it might be the greatest song, but naturally hitting your ear, your emotion doesn't feel the same.
Oh, that's good.
And I've seen it to where it's like, you know, I did... Fast Money J.
Yeah.
So we did a big listening party with him, and he couldn't get files for a few of them, but yet they were like one of his biggest songs. And there was a lot of people I knew in the room, and I had to go tell a couple like, "Hey, I didn't mix that one. Yeah. But I read the room, and people don't know how to be like, "Oh, that sounds weird," but it doesn't hit them the same. So like the mixes that I did, everyone was vibing to.
Yeah.
These bad mixes come on. Everyone's kind of playing on their phones or like, they just naturally don't feel it anymore.
So, who are some of your Vegas favorites that you would say? Because a lot of people go to you. And I feel like if they don't, they need to start because it's like you just bring that professional sound and not only just the sound, but the experience as well.
I mean, there's a lot of talent in Vegas, and I hate that it could be so much better. Like, why is no one blown up in Vegas?
And how do you think it could be better?
People need to work together.
Okay.
It's too clicked up.
Yes.
I don't like that. And if people just like put their egos to the side and really pushed each other, I feel like it could do something.
Yes.
Vegas artist, you know, he's one of them. I think he's really talented. I know he has a family and stuff. I wish he would get more back into the music.
Fast Money J?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be going crazy. Yeah.
There's a few. There's this Latin girl that I work with, Demir Major.
Oh, I've heard of her.
She's good. Super talented.
Dang, why does her name sound like really crazy familiar right now?
Yeah, she moves around a lot. She does shows constantly, like really
Demir
involved
Major.
within
Dang,
the cannabis
that's
stuff.
bothering me because that name is just ringing in my head and I can't see her face right now. But
Jovi. I think Jovi Jove is one of the best out here.
yeah,
One of the fastest artists I've ever worked with too.
just as far as like
The
finishing.
recording process.
Okay.
And I mean, Pressure, I think he's great. He's
Yeah,
my little brother at this point.
you do.
Yeah, there's too many to name.
It's crazy. I was just waiting on my name to come. It's crazy. I never get no respect.
We're waiting for you to come record.
I've been trying to get in his booth forever. Every time I go there, never put no respect. So, and then you and Chef went crazy. Like, you guys work closely together, right? Like,
Not so much anymore. He
Okay.
opened his own studio, kind of doing his own thing. But for a while there, we were just like fully locked in, working a lot.
that's fire. So, how do you determine like who, or are you open to just work with anybody, or now because you're so seasoned in the game, you kind of pick and choose who you?
I am very reserved on who I work with. And especially like having a home studio. I have to be careful. I could get more work, but if you're hitting me up from an Instagram and you're shining guns in your picture,
Oh hell yeah!
you're not coming to my house.
Have you ever seen somebody bring guns to the studio?
Yeah, I don't care. Like, I got tons of guns.
I know, but like how they just have it hanging out their pocket like that long ass clip. And you like that? That's too
See,
much.
what worries me is these young kids.
That's what I'm saying. The
don't-
YNs is what they call it now.
Man,
They scared.
That's dangerous. That's where like I've been in some situations like I just got to get through this and I'll never work with you again. Like
What was a crazy experience that happened during,
nothing like stupid crazy,
or
but
just the energy?
energy. And I've also been in sessions where it's like I hear the guns loading or racking the whole time, and I don't
Wait,
let that
why?
exactly. These aren't toys. I've shut sessions down for it, and a lot of the times it isn't the client that booked through me.
It's the entourage that they come with.
The friend that they brought. And it's like, because again, I don't take just any session. You have to kind of like know someone and then come through,
Yeah.
meet me. I got to feel your vibe and then we could work. But then it's always like, oh, can my friend come? And the friend has some weird energy.
It's just, and he's just loading the clip. Like,
There was like 3 of them doing it. I shut that session down so quick. Or like,
for what, you're at the studio? What? Okay, other than that, what was like the wildest studio experience you've had? Where it was like, this cannot be real right now.
I can't say I've had, I don't know.
It's a lot.
I've dealt with so many. Oh, I got one.
Give it to me. Go, say about it.
And it's not violent or nothing. It was just awkward. So I have this client that wants to book a session. He wants to do drum and vocal. And he was like, oh, it's just for like a Instagram live thing. I just want to stream this. I'm like, okay, cool, easy. So the dude.
So wait, you mean like the drums is playing and it's just his vocals?
Yeah, but it was kind of fake. But the drummer was playing, and then we were going to feed the audio to the Instagram live.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's kind of like a concert, but a stream.
Okay.
So the dude, we booked the session. He calls me about an hour before. And he's like, hey, man, I'm also streaming to my OnlyFans. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Don't tell me he had to get naked while he did
He
this.
tells me he wants to come and take off his clothes for this live stream.
Oh, hell
And I'm
no.
like, dude. And I call my manager at the time. And I'm like, this guy wants to stream for an OnlyFans.
He trying to be butt naked streaming, playing the drums, vocals.
Singing. He was the singer. And the drummer was there. And I'm like, dude, what do you... He's like, I'm going to cover my face. He had like this bandana or something.
You gonna cover your face and meat just out. That's crazy. What? Cover my face.
Oh, man.
How did you do it?
I called the manager and I'm hoping she's going to tell me no and shut the session down. And she just starts busting up laughing. I'm like, man, now I'm stuck with this shit.
Wait, that's crazy.
What I ended up doing was he was in like a room next to me. The drummer and the rapper.
But wait, no, this should not be this funny. No, that's crazy.
I put up like a barrier though, to where I can't see the shit. Like these 5-foot barriers to where I can only see the top of your head.
Oh my goodness, that is freaky.
Oh man, it was so awkward.
And then he just went live, and then he just was butt naked.
No, what's crazy though is he showed up.
Oh fuck!
He was painted gold. In a man thong in a trench coat.
Oh shit, not the trenchy. Oh my goodness.
And he ended up the stream for OnlyFans didn't work. So he didn't pull off the man thong. But
the fact that you showed God.
And didn't even try to hide it. Like he's walking through the hallway
wide
open. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And then after the fact, one of the studio owners was like, dude, whoever this guy is left gold ass prints on all our furniture.
Oh my goodness.
He was just moving around, sitting everywhere. And I'm like,
do you think artists are weird?
For sure. I think all artists are a little weird somehow. And not even just musical artists, like, tattoo artists, for instance.
Yeah.
I've dealt with so many different tattoo artists, and there's something weird about them. Like, I'm weird myself.
I'm weird too.
It happens. It's
maybe because like it's like you have to be creative, but you still have to be weird.
It's just making your weird not as weird, if that makes any sense. Like, you got to be a fun.
It does.
Like, some people are weird,
and they don't know how to like hide it. Like, you got to put that in a box, kind of weird. Like, you can't just
or know when to hide it. Like, obviously, there's people you could keep it open, but
showing up gold in a man thong is kind of crazy.
That was a weird one.
That's crazy. All right, speaking of weird, dude, you have like such a cool career. Like, it's just, I just can't believe that you're here on my platform, and I think that's just so cool. Like, you've even been in the studio with like Quincy Jones.
I got to do like
you're a big deal.
I just worked hard and found myself in some cool spots.
I like how you put that.
Yeah.
But you have been with some legendary people.
Thankfully, and it's like, I always tell people there's a difference between a star and a legend.
Break that down.
And a lot of people are like, what do you mean? Who is a legend in our generation? Because legend is thrown out so easily.
Agree.
And I don't like that. Like, for instance, some of the artists that have died, the Juice WRLD, Tentacion, whatever, I don't believe that they were a legend. They didn't become a legend until after they passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of messed up. Or a Nipsey, like, no one was calling him a legend before he passed.
Yeah.
But then, exactly, like I said, the difference between a star and a legend. Their careers were very short. How can you say that's a legendary artist? Like, I consider a legend like someone that has had a career for 30, 40 years, and their music will live on forever. Some of this stuff we're hearing right now, it's so recycled and common. We aren't going to be listening to this stuff years down the line.
I really feel that. Do you feel like Chris Brown is a legend?
He's getting there.
He's close, right?
I would say a few more years, like, he's up there. But it's like, that now they're like, like an NBA young boy. I don't consider that a legend. You've had a career for a few years. Of course, these are just opinions. Everyone, but
no, I get what you're saying though. Yeah, for sure.
Like, you can't have 2 hit songs and be called a legend.
Yeah.
And
you don't get to just die and then get to be called a legend, is what you're saying. I get it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's thrown out too easily.
Yeah.
Or even with producers, engineers, like, oh, you're a legend. Like, no, what makes you a legend? Like, I even feel weird if anyone says that to me. Like, no, I still got more work to do. Like,
well, I would call you a legend.
I want to earn that at some point.
I feel that. No, I feel that.
And it's thrown out too easily.
Like legend and GOAT. That's why I'm just kind of like, we just throw that on anything we like or that sounds good for the moment.
You're calling every other artist a GOAT at this point. Like, you don't have no credibility now.
Yeah, that's true.
But I've been fortunate to what I consider legends. Like, one day I worked with Celine Dion a bunch. That's a legend.
You see what I'm saying? But you've worked with all legends.
But again, the way I break it down is how they treat people. Celine is huge. I remember the first day it was like, hey, Celine, go meet Celine downstairs. I'm like, damn, I just remember one of her songs playing in my mom's wedding growing up. And got to get real close with her and her family. And I remember one of the last sessions I did with her, she comes in, I'm still like, hey, this is Celine. Like, it's a big deal. I'm like, hey, how you doing? She's like, don't act like a stranger. Get over here and give me a kiss.
Aww.
They do the French thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that's so cool. Or like, I got to do a bunch of Carlos Santana sessions. Like, that to me is a legendary person.
Just keep running the names down. Just keep on going, because my spirit is just lighting up. Carlos Santana. And I heard it go off in my head like, what?
Or even like the Chaka Khan thing.
You did work with Chaka. Was she sweet?
She was so nice.
She seems like it.
Yeah. And it was weird because I got files the day before and it said something about Chaka Khan. And I'm like, no way. Like, it has to be a cover or something or a tribute. Then her daughter shows up and she's like, oh, my mom's on her way. I'm like, is it actually Chaka Khan? She's like, yeah, she's on her way in.
She's coming.
Yeah, that one is crazy. And I don't ask for pictures with a lot of artists. Sometimes it just isn't. They're there to work. It has to just be a real professional environment.
Yeah.
And with her, I had to.
It's Chaka Khan.
And I was like, oh, my mom would be mad if I didn't. She's like, don't blame it on your mom. Get over here.
It's for you. Come on. I love that. I love that. All right. Okay. We got some. You ready for this game time?
What do you got?
It's some fun questions.
Okay.
Of a would you rather. Very intense. Very wild.
Okay.
Very free. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We go from Chaka Khan to pure madness. Let me get my game time music ready. Is that like not intense or what? Would you rather read your wife's teenage diary or read one of your daughter's teenage diary?
Oof.
Ooh.
Probably the wife's.
The wife? Okay. Why?
My wife grew up kind of like sheltered in a way.
Okay.
To where she just really had crushes.
Okay, that makes sense. I like how you did that. Daughters?
My oldest, I wouldn't be worried. My youngest, she's a little firecracker. So.
You gonna hear that Post Malone story up in there? All right. Would you rather have to sing Destiny's Child Bootylicious every time someone booked a session or have really bad gas during the entire session?
I'll take the gas. I'm just farting everywhere.
My body, but the gas over Bootylicious real quick.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I feel that. I can't even picture you singing Bootylicious. Take your daughters to their first male strip club or you have to record the worst artist ever for the rest of your career. You literally cannot record anybody else but this horrible artist.
Can I just end my career then?
No, you gotta pick one. You gotta pick one or chug the rest of that beer in a can.
Oh, that's coming soon anyways. I would say the strip club, but I'm their bodyguard.
But you gotta watch everything.
No one's getting close.
No, they gotta do, you can't cheat. The full experience. I mean, Magic Mike, maybe Mr. Chocolate Mandingo comes.
Fuck it, I'm gonna work with that bad artist and try to make them something.
I feel that. All right. Drake or Kendrick?
Ooh.
Ugh.
Preference wise,
Yes.
I not even talking about the beef.
Come on.
I like Kendrick a little bit more,
Oh, fuck. Thought we were here.
but who I think is a more successful artist, 100% Drake.
I'll take it. Justin Bieber or Taylor Swift.
Oof.
There's no disappointing me with this one.
I'm a Swiftie.
Are you a Swiftie?
Yep. I like the old Taylor Swift personally.
Me too.
I would take old Taylor Swift, current Bieber. Because I liked Taylor when she was more country.
Yeah, now she's more pop. And
When she went pop, like, I didn't really care.
the little girls love it though, but they don't know Tay-Tay like we know Tay-Tay.
But Bieber, like, oh, man, that's a hard one.
I have Bieber fever too.
He's great.
I'm a Swiftie and I have Bieber fever.
What's funny is, like, a dude, you used to be made fun of. Like, you couldn't say, oh, I like Justin Bieber.
Really?
Yeah, that's growing up. If you said you like Bieber, you're gay.
I feel like he was just so good and he just.
But now, as I see him as an artist, I'm like, dude is incredible.
I guess now because he's like kind of out of like that teenage girl phase where it's like only teenage girls like Justin Bieber.
Exactly. Like,
I was grown as hell and I had
can't
Bieber fever.
say, oh, I'm a fan of Bieber.
He's so good. Good Charlotte or Blink 182.
Blink 182. That one's easy.
I can actually see that. I don't know why I thought that was going to be tough.
No, being a drummer,
That's exactly why it makes sense. I was like,
one of my favorites. So it's
the
like,
drumming background makes sense.
Yeah. Even though I love Good Charlotte, but it's like.
But that makes sense. Drummer, I think most drummers would pick Blink 182.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't even name who the drummer is from Good Charlotte.
I cannot because it was not Travis.
It was nothing special. It was great, but it wasn't like.
God damn it. I tried to make this tough for you. You flew through these.
You can't compare to Travis Barker.
Travis Barker is amazing.
Yeah. Did you see the beef that's going on right now?
No, with who? Travis Barker and the beef?
No, not him. His daughter and Bad Baby. Oh my!
Make this make sense.
Oh, it's
What
so
would
bad.
they was dating or something? She older?
No, his daughter dissed Bad Baby because I guess his daughter is hooking up with a bunch of random people now.
Oh.
It just came out like 2 days ago, and it's hard to watch.
And Bad Baby was one of the dudes she hooked up with?
Bad Baby ain't a dude.
I thought you meant Bad Bunny. In my head, I heard Bad Bunny. Okay. Oh, Bad Baby, the girl, the white girl that be.
Yeah. And it's so cringy.
Oh, this makes sense now because I was confused. I was seeing Bad Bunny. I was like,
you got to watch it. It's funny. Like,
she slept with one of her dudes?
I guess so. I don't know what the background story of it is. I just heard
She
about
can't
the
be
diss and
What? So who do you think is in the wrong?
I don't know the backstory of it.
Oh, you did say that.
I can't say, but it's like
But they're beefing over a dude right now?
I think so.
And her daddy is Travis Barker?
Honestly, like I can't stand Bad Baby, but she kind of destroyed her. But
like she did a dish song?
Yeah.
Damn. What kind of music so Travis Barker daughter, she raps?
She's trying to.
She trying to rap and she could just be doing punk rock somewhere like her daddy?
She don't even got to do nothing.
That's also very true.
Both his kids do music now. The son is actually like pretty decent. But he's also like MGK is doing a bunch with him. He's trying to go more in the rock lane.
Good for him. That makes sense.
But
who is his son? What's his name?
Landon Barker.
Landon Barker. I'm gonna check him out. See what he got going.
But it's like you're a white girl from Calabasas. How are you rapping right now?
Should she be rapping like tough?
Oh, she tries to.
Do you like female rappers?
Honestly, no.
Why?
It takes a lot for me to like a female rapper.
I feel that.
You have to have like a natural pleasing voice. I've dealt with so many female rappers that have like a weird frequency that just doesn't work with me.
It's kind of annoying. It like hurts your ears a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. Hurts your ears, or it's like.
Although I'm a woman, I shouldn't say that, but I got to start speaking my truth.
The whole ratchet shit. Like,
hate it.
Come on, be a little bit more like you're talking about the same stuff. I can't do it. And I've just had like not fun experiences with female rappers.
Like, are they like all like divas or it's just.
Not even that. It just hurts my ears.
I feel that.
Like I've mixed projects for female artists And I feel like I got to mix it on headphones because obviously my studio is in my garage. People can hear it a little bit. And I'll be embarrassed.
Oh shit! Like it's that bad.
I
Like
hope
I
no
don't
one
want
hears
people to
the
know I
shit
did
that
this.
Yeah, exactly. If I have to do that, we probably shouldn't even be working together.
Damn. What if somebody's just like so terrible, but they just like want to keep paying you and they don't want to go anywhere else?
I try to base it off like who they are as a person at that point. Like if you're terrible and annoying to deal with, I'm not taking your call next time. But if you're terrible and you're like a really cool person and I could kind of help you a little bit in some ways,
Yeah.
and we get along and you're easy to work with, cool. Let's keep working. And the way I put it there is like, if you love to do this, who am I to tell you not to do this? Like I shouldn't take away from your happiness of
what you find joy in.
Exactly.
Because I'm so glad you said that.
No.
Because I'm like, that's not my place.
That's how I see it with some people. But if you're a little bit annoying, fuck you. Figure it out. Go
and
somewhere
they do be annoying.
else.
And then it's just like the pussy bars. It's just not even, there's no creativity anymore. It's just like, this is just what, like, I don't understand it. Yeah. I'm a Barb. Love me some Nicki Minaj.
See, with me,
I love me some MC. Like, I come from, like, I do love Shauna. Shauna was actually my first favorite female rapper from DTP. Well, not my first, but she was one of my top girls. I just like voice and
everything is just like recycled to me at this point.
Very true.
And it's like that's
it's just
already
like
been
my
done.
Pussy and scam and rob and then how wet it is. I'm like, I don't want to hear this every day.
Sleeping on a damn air mattress.
But you got so much money, and then it's like you don't tell the full story. And I think it's just a horrible example being set for these young girls. But
I feel like that's like a lot of the artists now.
Very true. So you're right. It's not even just women. It's
to like
all the kill music and
yep. Everyone's doing the same shit.
When you record a session full of just smoking on the ops and all that, like how do you deal with that? How do you clear your energy of that after it is done?
I laugh to myself the whole time knowing that it's bullshit.
That's good. Because you're right. They be full of shit.
I'm kind of clowning you in my head the whole time. Like, I know.
Do you respect the punch-in method as an engineer?
That's a great question. I actually had that in my notes that I wanted to bring up at some point.
Talk about it.
Some people could do it. Not everyone can. And I've dealt with it so much. I've recorded so many songs. It's always better when it's written and rehearsed. And that's why I personally like R&B a little bit more over the hip hop stuff or the rap. R&B, I love they come in prepared. They rehearse this in front of the mirror 20 times. And I tell artists all the time, like, you know, look at music like a sport. And you get artists that like, you know, they got 50 people that said they had a good song and they just think they're the shit. It's like a LeBron. Just because he's up there, he's still practicing every day.
Yes.
So it's like I tell him, look at it like a sport. Practice every day. You come into the studio, that should be your Super Bowl. Yeah. That's your championship right now. Now you need to capture the best possible performance of your song. And it gets hard because they think, oh, my favorite rapper freestyles.
Talk about, come on. You're about to do it. Come on.
Your favorite rapper also has a budget and can afford more than just a 2-hour studio session. So yeah, they can go in there and freestyle and mumble for 5 hours. They could take it home, come back and actually make it a song. These guys have 2 hours and want to just freestyle and leave with a shit song.
Yeah.
You just wasted your money.
Yeah.
And then that's all you could afford. You can't even afford a mix. You don't even probably know what that is. And it comes out mediocre. And I tell people all the time, if you punch and at the end of 4 or 5 hours, we have a great song, cool, I'm happy. I trust your process.
Yeah.
If we just punch for 4 hours and you have a bunch of nonsense, I just wasted my time.
Yeah, because I feel like, I mean, some people can punch, but it's like, that's usually when it's just bars all over the fucking place. Like, you're just saying shit that just came to your mind just as a whole.
I always compare it to throwing a ball at the wall and hoping it sticks.
Ooh, that's good.
Most of the times it doesn't.
Yeah.
Or like, one of the things that I hate is I get artists, they're like, let me go lay what I have down. They walk in there and they have a bar and a half ready
And
to
that's
go.
like they had some whole shit written out.
That's what I think. If you tell me that, I'm
Mm.
expecting at least half the verse done.
I always want, like, when did this? Because I feel like now artists think it's kind of like cool to be like, oh, I don't write. I just like freestyle. Like, when did that happen? Because I remember like it was cool to just open your notepad and really just like have it ready and together.
When I get an
What?
artist that like goes in there and lays a whole verse, I have so much more respect.
Because yeah, come on, because you're the pro. I feel like people don't understand. It's like they do all this punching in, and then they get on the stage and they can't. They don't have the same breath control to do that whole verse.
Well,
You don't have the flow, the cadence. Like you don't even know the fucking shit because you
do
just
you
said a
go
bunch
to
of.
a lot of hip hop shows?
I do.
It sucks. Like,
Yeah, I don't go to a lot no more because I'm like, man, like I just want to be in my true self. So like I love like going to see live bands and stuff like that because I feel like it's a show.
see, with that, it's like they're playing their full tracks. A lot of guys don't even know
You're
how to get
rapping.
show mixes. They don't
They
even
don't.
ask. They're playing just their mix, which is probably a rough because they didn't pay for a mix or
They
buy the
literally
beat
just
stems.
airdrop it to the DJ right before it. I'm like, what are we doing?
And then they're pretty much ad-libbing over their song.
That's it.
I can't pay to go see that.
I'm tired of paying to go see it. I be always trying to be overly supportive. I'm like, I'm sick of this shit.
No, it's the same stuff. Again, they're just ad-libbing over their song live. Like,
Standing in the same place or when they smoke a backwood on stage. Oh, that pisses me off.
and
Like,
then some of those guys that like heavily rely on autotune and don't have it live, and it just
it's
sounds
not
like, no.
a hot ass mess.
Yeah,
How do you feel about auto tune?
I hated it originally. Now I see it as an instrument.
Okay.
I look at it like, again, I came up listening to strictly rock music. Wasn't open to hip hop. Back in like 2011, I discovered like Hobson, Dizzy Wright, Jaron Benton, the whole Funk Volume group. And I was like, oh shit, I actually like this. Like,
Yeah.
and their shows are all insane. Like, they're actually doing real
Definitely.
stuff.
Yeah.
Got a drummer up there. And so I hated autotune, but now I see it as a guitar player can't play his guitar without an amp, right?
I like the way you break this down. You're so
Autotune
good.
is like an extension of your voice, to where I see it as like that's your amp to your instrument.
Do you feel like sometimes they overuse it though?
Oh, I could end some careers if I bypassed autotune.
That's my thing with auto tune. Like I get it, it could be like it can enhance your voice, but some people just go too far or they put too much. And I'm a voice person, so I feel like for
Yeah.
me it just kind of now I'm disconnected because sometimes you just start to sound like this robot on every track. Like I can't listen to a whole album where it's just all auto tune every track. Like what do you sound like?
I try to tell people to use autotune as a guide to get better.
Mm.
And if you
Like
use
that.
autotune correctly, but a lot of the times they're going to bad engineers that don't try to break this down for them and tell them that use autotune as a vocal coach, to where it's literally like, I work with singers that are super talented. I still put a little bit of tune on them. And on occasion, I'll get them where they're like, oh, I don't use autotune. I have to tell them everyone uses autotune some way or another. Like, as listeners, everyone is accustomed to hearing perfection. So you have to have a
Yes.
little bit of like perfection with it. And I get the ones that are too confident, and I'm like, no, it's not going to sit right with people's ear. And they won't
That's
even know
me.
why, but they're not going to like your song.
Yeah.
And I just did a mix recently, and the girl's like, oh, I hate autotune. And
It's
I
like, you could probably use a little bit.
needed some for sure.
Mm.
And I sent her a mix with and without. And she was kind of like, just disappeared for a month. I broke it down like, hey, it sounds polished with this tune on it. Finally, it took me like breaking it down like that. And then the producer was there. I clicked on the auto tune. He was like, oh, whatever you just did sounds great. Yeah, I told you. We got to do a little bit of polishing here.
Do you feel like a lot of people get intimidated because your level of professionalism, like, and just knowing, like, I can come into this and probably know what's better for you in this song? Because a lot of people don't like that or they can't handle that. You know what I'm saying?
I deal with more people that it's not like an intimidation thing. They just can't handle it.
Okay.
And it's always like an ego thing of they already think they're the best. And those are the people that I don't want to work with.
Yeah.
It's like, again, if we can't help each other, and sometimes it's hard because people don't want to advance. You know, I got clients that I've been working with for 8 years, all hear a mix that I did 2 years ago. And I'm like, that was terrible. What were you doing? Like, I try to grow constantly as an engineer.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're 7 years in, you're still pulling up YouTube beats that you won't pay for.
Bingo. I think you just unlocked another open door. Talk about it.
Oh, man.
What is the problem with doing these YouTube beats with artists that just keep doing the YouTube beats?
First off, you should pay people for their work.
Come on.
I had a guy a while back, and the beat wasn't on YouTube. It was only on BeatStars, and it was $50.
$50.
And, you know, I come from an era where we had to record our own music, and we were paying a lot more than $50 to record our instrumental. Like, so this dude, we've been working together 8 years at this point, has not advanced as an artist, still on the YouTube beats. And I've referred him to people, connected with beat makers. And recently it was like, oh man, I can't find it on YouTube. I got to pay $50 for this.
$50.
And I was like, yeah, that's crazy that you have to pay people for their work.
That's you are funny.
He laughed it off, but it was really like I was dissing a little bit.
Yeah, like that's wild.
Why can't you just pay for one?
And it's $50.
See, and I hated on YouTube beats for a long time. And I still do. I still feel like artists should connect with a producer or beat maker, which that could be a good topic to talk about.
There's a difference.
Connect with someone and build with them. Like, I've literally recorded 3 different songs on the same YouTube beat before. That drives me crazy.
You know what drives me crazy is when they get mad and start dissing each other. Like, oh, he stole my song. No. It's not your song. You guys all went to the same YouTube channel. You got the beat. Nobody owns the beat. He didn't steal your song.
And if your song did go anywhere, you're getting sued. So you're fucked anyways.
So like, how far can you go with a YouTube beat?
See, but like also what I tell people, again, I hated on it for a long time. Now I'm like, if you want to use that, cool. At least buy the stems. So you know what stems are, right?
I hear about it. So like, what exactly are the stems? Because I know Taylor Swift didn't get her stems back from Scooter or something.
Different.
Okay. Like, so what are stems?
Her stems would be more so considered like her masters.
Okay.
But say if you buy a beat.
Oh, yeah.
For me to properly mix it, I need stems. So it's like, okay, you want to use this YouTube beat, pay the $100, $150.
But what is the stem exactly?
Each individual file of the beat.
Oh.
Because a lot of these guys, beat makers.
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
In their grandma's basement, they don't know shit about mixing. You get distorted bass. Like, they don't know how to mix their beats. To where now it's like, if you break out the stems, I got my kick. I got my 808. My clap, my hi-hat.
Damn, I didn't know. I'm thinking the stems has something to do with the voice.
No, it could. There's
I thought it was like maybe that's the like original voice or something. But again,
if you're gonna use a YouTube beat, go buy the stems and let me properly mix it. Like there's times where I don't even want to mix your songs if you can't get that. Like if your beat sounds like ass, no matter what I do to this mix, it's not gonna sound where it should.
Because you don't have the stems.
And I could go in and
down
like,
a beat.
There's times where I might replace your kick with a better kick that hits harder. I can't do that without stems. Or it's like,
because you don't know what kick is on there.
You know, the bass, the 808s. There's time. That's the biggest fight. A lot of these guys are just turning shit up as much as possible because they don't know how. They don't know how to properly saturate it or get it to cut. Like, if you hear a lot of those like Atlanta beats, you try to play them on your phone, the bass sounds like a fart.
Yeah.
Like it's as to where I go in and blend in a higher frequency to it, and I'm going to make it sound like you're listening on huge speakers throughout your phone or your AirPods or whatever. So yeah, the YouTube
Dude, I'm literally just so intrigued by this. I'm like learning. Like I'm just like
I get irritated with it.
No, I love this though because you see the difference between people who think they know what the fuck they're doing and then people who actually do this for real. And the way you broke that down is crazy because I would hear stems all the time. I had no idea like what it really was. And then I would ask people and I don't think they really knew what it was. It was just
Yeah.
like I feel like I just need to have this. But
Now, to me, it's sad because I've tried to like break it down to artists, a lot of Vegas artists, and they just don't care. Like, again, the whole part of they want to just look like a rapper, drop a song that's not properly mixed, or like, yeah, it gets,
it's deeper than that.
yep.
Dude, this was so great. I've really learned so much. And
Yeah.
that's why I want to do interviews where I can like learn things. And not just me, but like the viewers. So thank you. I feel like you taught us so much.
Yeah, of course. I know I've
I
done
feel like
interviews
there's
where they don't let me get a little nerdy
how
or
was this?
technical.
How was this?
Oh,
Was
I'm
this a
having
good
fun.
interview?
I'm
Okay.
hanging.
You know I'm new to this, so I just always like to figure out what the experience is. But like I really love talking to certain people because I see the knowledge that you have for music.
No, and I've done a few where it's just like, oh, talk about who you've worked with. There's more to it than this.
I know, and that's very cool though because you work with some cool people. But I think for me, it's just like seeing you work. It was crazy. Like I had videos in my phone where I'm just like recording you just working because I thought it was just so crazy. I'm like, and you have this calmness where it's like you said live band, just like 42 vocals. I would love to see that one day because you are just so calm behind there. Like I've seen people where it's like they look stressed, like, oh, but you were just like calm and you knew, and it was just like you just became one with everything that was going on.
I feel like that's the benefit of the fact that I've worked with bigger artists
Mm,
is like I've seen it all. I'm not going to be intimidated with a local artist.
yeah,
Like, let's just make this work. Let's vibe. Let's work together well.
let's do it because I've had bigger names and I've had more pressure.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Is your beer empty or what are we doing?
I think I'm about done.
We chugging these last ones a little bit?
Oh, I got another one over here. There's only one drink in here.
Let's chug it to exit. Cheers.
I don't know if I can chug a tall can.
We
but-
just gonna chug it for like 5 seconds. We're gonna do it for the camera. Then it's gonna cut off, and they're gonna think we finished it. Cheers. Thank you for wait. You ain't even let me do my cheers. Thank you so much for coming on my platform,
Of course, thank
sharing
you.
your knowledge, being such a cool person. I think you're just so cool. I love what you do.
Appreciate it.
I know you don't like the legend title, but I think you're a legend. My book, because I'm just a little bitty person, and I just admire everything you do.
Thank
so
you.
cheers to you and everything you do. Let's go. Cheers. All right.